Hello, and welcome to this session on MEMENTO Design Pattern. This video is part of a 20 hours Udemy course where we cover hundreds of real-world design pattern scenarios. The MEMENTO Design Pattern is a behavioral design pattern that provides the ability to capture and restore an object's internal state without violating encapsulation. It allows you to save and restore the state of an object, effectively creating a snapshot of its current state. The memento pattern allows an object to be restored to its previous state, providing undo and redo functionalities. It also enables the object to save its state externally, so it can be persisted or transferred between systems. Overall, the MEMENTO Design Pattern provides a flexible way to capture and restore an object state, ensuring encapsulation and supporting undo and redo operation and state persistence. Hello and welcome back. Let's take a simple example of MEMENTO Design Pattern. And in this example, we're going to start with an editor class. The function of this example is an editor class that saves different states of its content using the memento. Our editor class will instantiate a content attribute on initialization, and then it also has a method add text that adds a textual content to the content attribute. We can also have a get content. So this is the setter for the content, and then this is the getter for the content. Then it also implements the method create memento. We're going to be creating that class later. It's an object that saves the state, a specific state in our editor. And then we also have the restore memento that takes in a memento, and then this restores the state that was initially saved. Now let's implement the memento, and we simply have a class that takes in a content. So right here, whatever content we want to save, when you call memento, it just saves that content into save content variable. And if we want to get the content, we just use the get saved content method of the memento to get the content. So we save the content on initializing the memento, and then we also get the content with the get saved content method. Also, we're going to implement a caretaker class, and the caretaker class takes in every saved memento into a list. So when you save a memento, you add it using the add method of the caretaker into the mementos list. So it contains list of saved mementos, which is an object that represents the saved state of the originator. And the originator in this instance is the editor that does the creating of the mementos. Now let's run this. The first thing I'll do is to create an editor, and I'm going to also create a caretaker. The editor is the originator, and that is, it will create several saved states using the memento, and the caretaker will store all the saved states of the originators. Let's start by adding a text into the editor using the add text method, and then we can save that state using the add memento method of the caretaker, and the add method of the caretaker will take in the editor create memento, will create a memento that the add mementos method of the caretaker will store. You can see here this appends all the mementos to the mementos list. So let's create some more. I'm going to add world. So in the editor, we have hello world, and I create another state to store the word text into the memento. That is the list we have here. And then I create the last word, which is goodbye. And if I print out this text right now, printing out the content, it shows us hello world, goodbye. We can restore an editor back to its last state by calling the restore memento and restoring the memento from the caretaker. We're going to be calling a get memento method from the caretaker, and we'll restore the last state. That's Well, that method doesn't exist. I didn't implement it. So basically what that does is just, I'm going to call the get memento, which returns mementos index that is supplied here. What we did here was we did restore memento, and we took that memento from that list, from the mementos list using the get memento, and we took the first index. If we print this code again, you would see that it restored the last state of the editor. The last state that was saved was hello world. And I can also have it do it again. Now restore from the caretaker, the get memento method, restore to the first phase. And you would see if I print out the content of the editor, it's going to show the first state, which is hello. And the memento stores each state. Again, let me take it. When we created the editor, which is the originator that create the states, we added text, and every text we added, we use the create memento to add it as a state. So the first text we added was hello, and that text was added to the content, that is the editor content. And when we did another add context world, the content now is not just world. The content now is, it's adding the first hello to world. So the content now is hello world. Whatever thing you add is added to the content, and then you use the memento to store each state. The first state we stored here is hello. The second state we stored here is hello world, because we're taking from the content, and then we had goodbye. We didn't store the state. And if we want to store the state, we can also store the state. For instance, I can come here and say, store the state of this memento, create the state, print it out, and then restore the first index, restore the state in the 0 index, and I can go back to, let me copy these and say the second one. I have 3 states in there, and you can see now that I called this, it actually restored it back to the full context there, because each of the state was stored using the memento, and the caretaker has all the states stored in a list. And anytime we call the index of the list, it returns to us the content of that object, the memento, which is the state of the originator that was stored in the memento. It's a simple implementation. You can just go through it again and you can see how it works. This video is part of a 20 hours Udemy course where we cover hundreds of real-world design pattern scenarios. The course is called Design Pattern in Python with real-world code examples. We showed via practical coding how design pattern is implemented in real-world scenarios like event manager, catch, database connection codes, document management code, creating optimized configuration settings, login frameworks, GUI framework codes, plugin systems, game development codes, payment gateway, document generators, computer graphics generation codes, financial model code pattern, resource pooling, object pooling in ORMs, website creation, database query codes, language translator, web application framework creation, banking system codes, organizational chart creation, file system, interpreter, menu system, text formatting code, authentication code, authorization code, API for OS, document management system, create proxies, event handling, middleware in web development, workflow system, undo redo functionality in apps, job scheduler scenarios, parsers, chart applications, drawing applications, notification system, distributed system, booking system, workflow management system, sorting algorithm, file compression utility, and many more. If you are really serious about your career in programming, you have to get this video, and you don't have to be a Python programmer to use it. Use the link in the description to get the best price for this course on the Udemy platform.